Ryan, we got 5 endings to the Infinity Gauntlet to talk about.
Not just one. 5.
Let's jump into it. All right, 5 endings. What are we talking about, Ryan?
There's a lot of different characters we've been following over this whole event, and all of them have plot lines to wrap up. They get wrapped up in their own individual comic books, all happening after Infinity Gauntlet number 6, which is the conclusion to the Infinity Gauntlet event.
That's right. Some of these even happen during.
That's true. Some of them happened before.
And we're going to
It's a whole weird time travel thing.
We got to cover all of them right now because these books are attainable, they're cheap, and they're all essential to the Infinity Gauntlet saga. Hit that subscribe button while you're down here, comic fan, so you can join us for the ride. We talk a lot of comics. All right, jumping into the list at number 5, we have Infinity Gauntlet issue number 6.
It's a big one. I mean, it's the ending. It's the whole ending. It all comes to a head here.
That's right.
Nebula had obtained the gauntlet.
That's right.
In Infinity Gauntlet issue 5. We had seen in some of the other tie-ins how Doctor Strange had gathered a group of heroes, including Thanos, to come back to Nebula and try and take her on.
That's right. How are we going to see this resolve? Well, Nebula has to get that gauntlet taken away from her, and we are going to see, at the end of the day, Adam Warlock save the day. I hope, I'm crossing my fingers, that we see Keanu Reeves as Warlock in this next phase of the MCU, because it's here where Adam Warlock is going to take this Marvel universe and take it to the next stage. He's going to become the protagonist by the end of this issue and kind of take on the Infinity Gauntlet story as the main character.
Yeah, because definitely Silver Surfer and Thanos have been the 2 main leads of this whole run so far. And in this section of the story at the end, clearly the torch has been passed to Adam Warlock. He's definitely the focal character of this, and everybody, all the actions they take in these 5 issues that we're going over right now, they all are evolving around Adam Warlock.
Nebula is going to revert everything by using the Infinity Gauntlet, by sending everything back one full day and fixing things. And soon after, Adam Warlock is going to trick her into dropping the gauntlet. He's going to get the gauntlet, he's going to put it on, and he's going to end up fixing things.
Nebula switching time back 24 hours is a very important moment in this discussion that we are about to have, so keep that in your mind.
Infinity Gauntlet issue number 6 goes for $60 to $70 at 9.8. It's a really cool collectible book, and it's a good fitting way to end this series, this saga, but we do have other endings to discuss. That's going to actually add more reasoning to how this story plays out. Let's take a look at number 4 on the list. We have Sleepwalker, issue number 7.
Kind of comes out of nowhere. We haven't really followed any Sleepwalker at any point during the Infinity Gauntlet story, so when we saw this on the list, it was like, wow, let's read this and let's see what's going on here.
And then, holy smokes, we got part 3.
It's out of left field. Yeah, part 3 to Quasar, of all things. We read issues 26 and 27 of Quasar like 6 months ago, and all of a sudden here we're going back to that plot line.
That's right. We had in Quasar 27, we had Eon, that he died, and his body, after decomposing, starts taking over New York City. This is a really cool break from the Infinity Gauntlet run, because this is actually where you get a peek at what the heroes that aren't part of this first wave of attack, you know, all these heroes that we've been following this whole run.
The main characters.
This is what all the other heroes were dealing with, is things on Earth, and in particular, Eon kind of taking over New York during this apocalypse.
Yeah, we get a flashback to all this stuff that happened. We get to see the resolution to this green goop storyline, and we figure out that Doctor Strange approaches Sleepwalker and tries to recruit him to come back and attack Thanos when he was, kind of gathering the team, so to speak.
Yeah, finding people.
Yeah.
And it's also here where we see the result of Nebula reverting everything back a full day. Because when you look at Infinity Gauntlet issue number 6, post Nebula reverting everything back, you see them go out of their way to mention that not everybody remembers what happened.
Yeah, most people have forgotten. I think they say that only the people that were there, that were directly involved in that battle with Thanos, can have a memory of the events. And most people lost that day.
It's like amnesia, and Sleepwalker experiences this. He's like, I gotta go help fight. And in this moment, boom, wait, I feel kind of weird, like I'm missing
It's
something.
a really cool way for the reader to get delivered this information, and it actually really ties into the next one we're about to talk about, number 3 on this list.
That's right. We have Hulk.
In issue 385 of Incredible Hulk.
Okay, so in Infinity Gauntlet issue 6, as soon as Nebula reverts everything back, that kicks Hulk back from this fight back to Earth, and then we pick up in this issue.
24 hours ago, I guess Hulk hadn't even been included in this conflict yet.
That's right.
It puts everything into perspective, I guess, how quickly this is all happening.
Everything happened in a couple days, man.
Yeah, this was fast. But no, Hulk ends up back in New York, and he's super confused. He's like, okay, I guess I'm back at the start now, or...
Yeah, he's thinking about how he has to check with Betty. Is she part of the half missing? And notice in this first page, there's still snow. So it means that Earth is still experiencing an ice age from the disruption that Thanos caused, putting it out of orbit and causing a mass, like, near extinction.
Yeah, I think it was in Gauntlet 3 when Thanos first got it on, and he was kind of just messing stuff up for no reason, just to be a jerk.
Screwing with planets.
Yep.
How he does. And at the end of this issue, because this is just a fun little action issue, Hulk is seeing the last of how Earth was prior to everything actually getting fixed permanently.
Ends with a sunrise, and yeah, like you were saying earlier, that's a contrast to the snowy scene that we had started the issue with, so you can tell that everything is kind of okay. And it ends with Hulk and the newly resurrected Rick Jones walking off into the sunset, and they're both like, I think something happened. I think we won, but I don't really know. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like it was at least a tie is how they feel, because things are kind of back to the way they were, but they're a little different. They're damaged to a degree, so they didn't necessarily win.
Yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet ending.
I also feel like number 2 on the list is very well placed here. I'm getting some major resolution.
We've spent this whole time with Silver Surfer, so it's pretty fitting that
I feel like I know him, man.
Yeah,
He's a friend.
No, he really is. He's a good guy to have in your corner. Even though at the beginning of this whole thing, he started out really doubting himself and at a loss for what to do with his life. He was confused, and then he went through all of this stuff with Thanos, with Galactus, all of this introspection we've seen over the last year plus, and now he's kind of okay. Like, Thanos is taken care of, the gauntlet's done. Adam Warlock has it now, I guess. Everything's kind of okay. So he's just surfing around and he's free. He's okay with himself. He's at peace.
He actually says that. He's like, I'm actually, feeling good for the first time and that he can remember. And he starts off a new storyline. We're going to see this moment here where Silver Surfer now finds other villains and he's going to carry on with his run. But let's take a quick look at what Silver Surfer experienced in Infinity Gauntlet issue number 6, because he was the key in order to allow Adam Warlock to become the embodiment of the Soul Gem. Without him, he wouldn't have been able to be tethered, which would rid Nebula of the gauntlet and cause him to save the day at the end.
He's a necessary piece of this whole puzzle.
Which brings us back to Silver Surfer issue number 34.
Yeah, that's true. Back then, he had that whole vision, about what to do and how to stop this, and it brings it all full circle.
Since Thanos' resurrection, exactly. It's here where it comes full circle that we see that Silver Surfer indeed was a key player in saving the universe.
That's true. Bringing everybody back, fixing everything.
Last but not least, number 5 on this list, we have Doctor Strange finishing out the Infinity Gauntlet saga.
This is Doctor Strange issue number 36. It's definitely an epilogue to the Infinity Gauntlet story. It deals with Adam Warlock, who now has the gauntlet. It deals with his first steps, I guess you could say.
Leading into the sequel to
Sequel
this
series,
story.
Correct. Infinity Watch.
That's right.
Which we will not be covering.
No, we're not.
Get a little break from the cosmic stuff.
This is a huge moment, though, because in Infinity Gauntlet issue number 6, we see at the moment that Warlock takes on the burden of the gauntlet and sends everybody back and fixes everything, he goes 60 days into the future. He goes to see Thanos. You think Thanos is dead, but it turns out he's not dead. He's needed in this universe, at least in the degree that Adam Warlock needs him there. And Adam Warlock seeks advice from Thanos. But why does this happen in Infinity Gauntlet? Well, we find out why in this Doctor Strange issue.
So in issue 6 of Infinity Gauntlet, Adam Warlock goes to visit Thanos, asks him for advice because he's still kind of struggling with the gauntlet.
Again, 60 days in the future. So something happened in between here. We end their conversation, Adam Warlock and the superheroes, not settled that he's going to be a good fit wearing the gauntlet. Silver Surfer, Thor, and Doctor Strange all think that he is not worthy enough to deal with the consequences of like absolute power.
I really like too. That's something the movies didn't touch on. It's something this comic didn't even really touch on that much. They addressed it a little bit, but when Nebula loses the gauntlet, there's a few shots of all of the characters making a mad dash for it. And we brought up Lord of the Rings earlier today, and you really get the parallel between the One Ring and the gauntlet being like ultimate weapons that are too much for any person to have control over. And I really liked the aspect of the cut your own friends' throats to get the power. But the movie definitely did not touch on that.
It was more keep away in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Spidey getting it. It's like no one thought just you're holding it. Like just put it on.
Yeah.
Deal with the consequences. Yeah.
Any of his innermost desires he could get with that thing on, and it never crossed their mind. Like the movie didn't have time to get into that stuff. I understand that, but it's so cool to see here, if only for a little bit.
And that's what this issue is about, is before Adam Warlock goes to visit Thanos to get advice, because even in this like chain of events, as you're reading the comic, you're going, wait, what? He just goes to visit Thanos. Why isn't he killing him? Is this kind of weird? Yeah. Well, this issue takes place in between that. Doctor Strange is able to contact Adam Warlock, and it's in this issue where they have this conversation. The fear is that Warlock isn't going to be worthy and that he could go mad. He could be corrupted. And what do they stumble upon when they find Warlock?
He's juggling planets.
He's doing weird stuff
exactly
again.
What Thanos was doing.
No good.
It's a bad sign.
Bad sign. Red flag.
Doctor Strange, however, doesn't seem to care that much. He's almost convinced that, I'm just playing some pranks. Like, this is some harmless God stuff. I'm allowed to have some fun. Which is a red flag in my mind. Like, that's a weird thing to say. Why would you say that? That's not normal.
That's right. But in this case, it's a lesson learned, because Doctor Strange is able to break through to Warlock, and Warlock's able to actually understand a little bit more himself, that he actually could be a danger to himself and to the universe, and that he needs to seek more knowledge. And it's that reason why he goes to see Thanos in the future to see if he can get any advice before he goes on this massive quest to bear the weight of that gauntlet.
It does make me want to follow up and see what happens in Infinity Watch. I never have read that.
I haven't either.
Might have to read that on our own separately and not discuss it on the mic.
Ryan, we finished up.
We finished.
We're still going to be doing a post-op show, so hit that subscribe button. We're not done talking about the Infinity Gauntlet just yet, but we do have a giveaway from the last video we did covering this awesome saga. Who wins this awesome Sasquatch sticker?
The Sasquatch 210 sticker is going to Mike Byrne.
Hey, thank you so much for commenting on our video. And if you let us know what you think about Keanu Reeves possibly being in the MCU, I'm hoping he does a Warlock. I'm hoping he does Silver Surfer. I don't care. Just bring him in. Let us know what you think in the comment section below, and we'll enter you to win this Turok, Son of Stone comic book.
Also, if you managed to make it to the end of this video, to the end of this saga, thank you. You have my heartfelt thanks. It means a lot that you care that much to follow all of us, all of this, all of these videos, all to the end. We finally finished Infinity Gauntlet.
We did it, man.
So sad.
As always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. Thanks so much for watching the video. Link in the bio to join the mystery mail call, our comic book subscription service. We are doing a Spider-Man Far From Home theme. First Molten Man, first Hydra Man. Come join the community. ComicTime101.com.
Do it.